What's going on, everybody? This is Brian from SneakerFiles.com, recapping the news, and before I jump into things, like always, greatly appreciate a thumbs up, and if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. Now, as for some of the highlights in this video, some of you may have seen that the Air Jordan 17 Low in black and chrome will return in 2025. Now, I'm going to go over all that information in this video. They'll be later on. Some of you might be surprised, some of you may not be. As well, there's another Maniere Air Jordan 5 dropping in 2025. Now, there's some more from Jordan brand, but for this video, the bulk of it is Nike. There's a ton of great stuff from Nike in this video, including I can confirm that the Nike Air Diamond Turf Emerald will return in 2025. And again, there's a lot of Nike. But now, let's jump into the news. Now, this is a heads up. Fragment Design will release 2 colorways of the Nike Air Zoom Spiridon this month. Now, overseas, both pairs did drop, and I believe it was on December 5th. However, for those who missed out and want to pick them up, they're going to be available on the Sneakers app on December 17th, which will be tomorrow. Also, the retail price is $170 each. There's going to be 2 colorways. One comes dressed in black and black, and the other pair features white, blue void, and black. Swarovski has quite a few collaborations dropping in 2025, and they're going to collaborate with Nike Basketball again, specifically on Ja Morant's line, and the next pair to be released is the Nike Ja 2. So some of you may remember that they collaborated on the Ja 1, so they're going to return on the Ja 2, and the color description on these is black and multicolor, but from the looks of it, it features black, silver, and white. So going over the pair, it features slash marks on the panel, and peering out will be Swarovski crystals. Now, as for the upper, it features a mixture of mesh, leather, and nubuck. While you can't tell from these images, I'm going to assume that Ja Morant's logo will be placed on the tongue. The upper consists of mostly all black, and then we have white on the swoosh logo, while black covers the midsole, heel, laces, liner, and what appears to be the rubber outsole. So pretty much a blacked out shoe with a little bit of white, and then you have the crystals allowing the pair to pop. Now, as for the release date, currently they're scheduled to drop on February 14th, which of course is Valentine's Day, and the retail price will be $550. They really don't play with these Swarovski collaborations. If you like them, you gotta have some deep pockets for them, but let me know your thoughts on this pair down below. Last week, the Sneakers Showcase returned, and during the showcase, they showed off multiple different models. Now, in this video, I'm not going to cover every single model that was showcased on the Sneakers Live, just because a lot of these we've already gone over. This is more so dedicated to the pairs we don't know about, so being a first look, or we knew about the shoes, but this live gave us a first look. So the first pair I'm going to talk about is the Nike Air Max 1 Valentine's Day. Now, in the past, we've seen the Air Max 1 celebrate Valentine's Day, but this is a new colorway and a new theme. And this pair features a playful pink and university red color combination. So the upper on this pair features shades of pink and red, mesh across the base, and then on the mudguard panels and around the heel, we have this metallic, shiny finish. It looks almost anodized, and then it appears that we have a leather swoosh. Now the upper is said to be inspired by a heart-shaped balloon, how it's all shiny and stuff. The midsole is done in red, and across the laces, you'll notice a bunch of text. And it features phrases like, "It's not me, it's you." Now, this is supposed to resemble those heart-shaped chalky candy that is given out around Valentine's Day. That's got to be one of the worst candy. That and candy corn. Both of those are disgusting. But that's another nod to Valentine's Day. They also have lace jewels that run down and read Nike. And both pink and red are used on the rubber outsole. Now, as for a release date, unfortunately, we don't have one, but they are expected to drop in February, and the retail price will be $160. During the live stream, we saw another look at the Nike Air Diamond Turf Atlanta Falcons. So just a heads up on these. Now, the original release date that I had was February 12th. However, they could be moved forward because I've heard from a few people that they're potentially going to drop in January. Although that isn't 100% confirmed, I did want to give you the heads up in case the release was pushed forward, which I'm sure a lot of people will be happy about if they drop earlier than expected. But for those that don't know, this is an original colorway. they dropped back in 1993. A lot of people were calling them 49ers due to the colorway, which, again, that does make sense. However, when they released, Deion Sanders was playing for the Falcons, and there's also some images from back in the day of him wearing them while playing for the Falcons. So the pair features a white, fire red, black, and metallic gold colorway. And the overall look, the shape, the build, the color placement mimics that of the OG. That's one thing they've done nice on this shoe is update the shape. They'll feature a red swoosh on the midfoot strap. They'll use a little bit of gold on the Nike Air located on the heels. And of course, the mesh netting on the panels has a gold tint. So for now, they are expected to drop on February 12th, but if anything changes, I definitely will make sure to let you know. And the retail price will be $150. I believe in late 2013, there was a rumor going around that the Nike Air Max Plus Hyper Blue would return in 2024. However, that didn't happen, and on this channel, I got a lot of questions asking, hey, what happened to the OG Hyper Blue? Well, maybe 3 or 4 months ago, around that time, I gave you guys an update that they were going to be released in spring 2025. So I'm not sure if they were originally planned for 2024 and then pushed to 2025. Either way, they are confirmed to be released. We do have a first look at the shoes. So the pair features a black, chamois, sky blue, hyper blue, midnight navy, and white colorway. This pair is pretty popular. It's an original colorway that was launched in 1998. The last time we saw the shoes released was in 2018. Recently, OG pairs like the Sunset and Voltage Purple returned, but it seems that more people were waiting for this pair. Now, the overall look and build does look closer to the OG. And the pair features hyper blue mesh on the upper, which gradients, and then we have black on the TPU overlays. Black runs across the mudguard. It also lands on the laces, top of the tongue, liner, and most of the midsole. The midsole also has white, and what really makes this pair stand out a bit more is the yellow detailing on the tongue branding, swoosh, and within the Air Max unit. These are nice. I remember back in the day people wearing these, and this is a definite pickup for me. Now, as for a release date, they will drop spring 2025. I've heard January, but I don't have 100% confirmation on that. And the retail price will be $180. I think my favorite model from Nike is the Nike Air Tech Challenge 2. I absolutely love this pair, and I love the fact that we're seeing more OG colorways return. Now, in 2024, several months ago, Nike released the Hot Lava pair. I was able to grab that one. Also, the Racer Pink pair is returning in January. I'm definitely going after that. And the third pair we have is the Air Tech Challenge 2, known as Tart. Now, this pair is an original colorway worn by Andre Agassi as well as John McEnroe. And the official colorway on these is Cell, Tart, Stone Blue, Football Gray, Pure Platinum, and Coconut Milk. Now, I believe on the Sneakers Live they were calling them Stone Blue, but the pair is also known as Clay or even Clay Blue, and they originally dropped in 1990. So we saw 2 more retros of the shoe take place, once in 2008. That's when it became more known as Tart. And then the last time they dropped was in 2014. Now, the 2014 pair was different in comparison to the OG and the new retro. The new retro is closer to the OG, which I'm definitely happy about. The colors on the 2014 pair were a little more dull. They didn't pop as much. And as you could see from basically the one image we have, the shape does look closer. So this pair will feature white leather throughout. The signature perforations land on the toe, and then we have detailing of blue and orange throughout. There's also some speckled detailing just above the midsole. This pair will also come with an aged midsole, which I'm a fan of. Now, I know Jordan Brand has been using the aged midsole on everything, and it is getting a bit tired, but on the Air Tech Challenge 2, I actually like the aged look. I do have an OG pair from 1990 of the Hot Lava, and they're pretty aged. They're cracked and throughout, so it kind of looks and reminds me of that shoe. Now, as for a release date, unfortunately, we don't have one, but summer 2025 is when they're expected to release, which means a release will take place between April and June, and the retail price will be $150. Here's some news that I broke several months ago, and that's the Nike Air Max 95 Neon would be returning in 2025 with the big bubble. So this pair will celebrate the Air Max 95's 30th anniversary. And on the live stream, we saw a first look. Now, you know what's funny is that these shoes are coming with a big bubble, but they actually look closer to the OG because over the years, it appears that Nike has slimmed down the Air unit more and more. Another thing that I like is that they look a little more bulky. And I remember the OG Air Max 95 being a little more bulky, being a little thicker on the upper. And the shape does, again, look good on these. I can't 100% complain. Now, the shoes will feature a black, neon yellow, and cool gray colorway. So, like the name suggests, the shoes were released in 1995. It is an OG colorway. The inspiration for this shoe is the human anatomy. The layered upper represents muscle fibers and the spine as well as the ribs. So the pair will have darker shades of black to gray, that gradient on the upper. We have a black hue around the toe. Black also covers the midsole, but what makes this pair pop is the neon accents on the eyelets, swoosh within the Air Max unit, and tongue branding. They're also going to have 3M reflective accents, mostly black on the outsole with some neon yellow detailing. Now for this pair, we don't have a specific release date. They are expected to drop summer 2025, which puts it just outside Air Max Day. Air Max Day is March 26. Technically, that's spring. They could push it forward, so it does drop on Air Max Day or around Air Max Day. But for now, summer 2025, and the retail price will be $185. The last pair to go over from the Sneakers Live is the Nike Air Diamond Turf Signing Day. At a first glance, I thought this was the Ravens pair, but it's actually not, of course. And the official colorway on these is black and metallic gold. So why are they calling this pair Signing Day? The colorway on this shoe matches the outfit that Deion Sanders was wearing on draft day. He was selected 5th overall in the 1989 NFL draft by the Atlanta Falcons. Now, what's funny is I did see this image that I'm going to use in this video of him on draft night. However, there was an interview where he was wearing like a white jacket with some black and gold detailing. And the reporter was interviewing him, asking just general questions. And he was happy. He said he would either want to go to Atlanta or Tampa. But he did not want to go to Detroit, actually saying that the Lions would have to put him on layaway because he would ask for so much money. But it was a short, kind of cool interview. If you like older stuff, I personally do. I like to watch 80s and 90s stuff, interviews, basketball games, movies. I'm kind of into all that stuff. So for me, it was kind of cool. But to go over the pair, they come constructed with leather throughout, done in mostly black to match his jacket. Now adding some pop, we have metallic gold, which hits the swoosh on the strap, the midfoot mesh, and the heel branding. That represents all the chains he was wearing. Also on the heel, it reads, "You Gotta Believe," which is embroidered in gold. And other details includes white on the laces, black on the midsole, and the rubber outsole. These are dope. They've been doing really good on these new colorways. They're telling a story, which I've been a huge fan of. Also dropping in 2025 is the Must Be the Money pair. I showed that in a previous video. Those are clean as well, inspired by his rap career. But for this one, they're going to drop spring 2025. Unfortunately, we don't have a specific release date, but that means the release will take place between January and March of 2025. These are also labeled a premium, so the price has gone up a little bit. Instead of the traditional $150, this pair is going to cost $160. Let me know your thoughts on this pair down in the comment section below. Alright, so now we're moving along from the Sneakers Live showcase, and we have new photos of the Nike Air Foamposite 1 Galaxy. Now, these have got to be the best photos we've seen as of yet. The other images that were going around, the shape just looked off, the coloring looked a little bit off. Now, the coloring could be due to the fact of the lighting of the image. The shape, I don't really know, could be something different. But with these photos, I'm definitely happy on how they look. Although, I will say that the carbon fiber shank plate in some of these images look more of a purple hue, but it's going to be black. Now, this is definitely a classic release returning. It's not an OG colorway, of course, but they were dropped in 2012, and this was kind of like the peak of the Foamposite era. This pair was super limited. There was a House of Hoops by me, and they only got 4 pairs. Most stores didn't get pairs. They had over 1,000 people lined up. I went there the night before because there were some pairs part of the All-Star collection that was available a little bit early. For those that don't know, this is part of the 2012 All-Star collection. Now, although I did say that this pair was the peak of Foamposite hype, some have said this is actually the start of the Foamposite hype, but I do remember that it was definitely building and going into that direction with some of the prior releases. But yeah, these were supposed to drop in 2024, but they delayed the release, and now they're expected to debut in February 2025. More than likely, these are going to drop during All-Star Weekend, and the retail price is expected to be $240. Now, there's something that I've been seeing going around, and people are saying they're going to be limited, and I wanted to clarify this. So these are labeled a quick strike, and you guys might remember that months ago I did state that they would be on the limited side. So this isn't really any new information, but what I will say is they won't be as limited as the first drop. There's going to be more pairs available, but with the hype on these and the fact that they are a quick strike, it'll be pretty hard to obtain. I'm not going to lie to you guys. But if you were around in 2012 and you tried to get these and you missed out, it'll be easier than it was then. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on these down below in these new images. Do you plan on grabbing a pair or passing? Images recently leaked of the Nike SB Dunk Low Black History Month. So Nike Skateboarding is going to revive the Black History Month releases. The last time we saw a release take place was in 2015. So 10 years later, the series is coming back, and this will be the first pair. So this pair comes dressed in a tourmaline, baroque brown, and monarch colorway. Now, you might have seen these images going around because they've been circulating, but people were calling them Shinron. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And Shinron is a legendary dragon from the Dragon Ball series. Now, if I mispronounced it, I do apologize. I never watched Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I've seen a few clips here and there, but I'll be honest, I was more of a Pokemon fan back in the day. But yeah, either way, yes, the colors do somewhat match up to Shinron, and being Year of the Dragon in 2025, I guess it kind of makes sense to run with that. But no, I was told from my sources that this is going to be the Black History Month pair. Now, I did have the colorway, the style code, the release timeframe, and all that stuff for the Black History Month shoe that would be coming. And I didn't say anything because I felt like it was going to be something a bit different, and I didn't know how to do a mock-up of them. I wanted to wait until we got a first look. So, as you can see here, the colorway matches up perfectly to the BHM release. Now, I don't know all of the details what connects to Black History Month, but what I was told is that the overall color blocking, the tourmaline shade, is connected to African gems, specifically the tourmaline gems. But to go over the pair, it features that shade of green on the upper, constructed with suede, and then we have Monarch on the piping throughout. As well, there's a unique design on the lateral side. I tried to look up different African art to see where it would connect to, but it doesn't really connect from what I saw, so I'm not too sure what the design is for. I'm sure I'll find out soon, or maybe somebody will know, can let me know in the comment section below. The heel also has a star on it. We do have some yellow detailing, which lands on the liner, the piping on the collar, and hinted on the tongue. Black fills in the swoosh. Now, it looks like red is used on the heel, but that could actually be the lighting or even the filter. Nike will be done in cursive. And then we have a green midsole and what looks to be a red rubber outsole, but again, that could be orange. Now, they also come with rope laces. And from these photos that we're using, we don't see the tag or anything like that. You can kind of see it, but I believe it'll say BHM somewhere on the shoe. It's just that these photos don't display it. So just want to clarify, this is not a Shinron or Year of the Dragon release. This is for Black History Month. And as for a release date, we don't have a specific one, but they are expected to drop in February, although they could debut in January. Now, the retail price is also expected to be $135. Initially, what I was told is this pair is a quick strike. So again, that means that they're going to be somewhat on the limited side. More than likely, they will drop on the sneakers app as well as skate shops, but it's not going to be like an inline or a GR pair where they're available everywhere and there's a ton of pairs available. This will probably sell out pretty fast. It seems that a lot of people do like the color blocking. I've seen some people knock it, but I personally like it a lot. I think it looks dope. And let me know your thoughts down below. You may or may not have seen this information going around, but I'm here to confirm that the Nike Air Diamond Turf Emerald will return in 2025, specifically in fall. Now, Deion Sanders is going to have a pretty strong year for releases next year. 3 OG colorways are returning. We have the Ravens pair, which is being called Ravens by the brand. I know the Ravens weren't a team when that pair initially dropped. We have the Falcons pair, which I recently talked about in this video. And now we have the OG Emerald, which I like a lot. I think it's a really dope colorway. Now, the images used is not the 2025 release. This is the 2017, which was the last time they dropped. They also released in 2010, and then the OG release was in 1993. So for the 2025 pair, it won't feature emerald in the color description, but the color description is black, mystic green, white, and golden Tassa. So for this pair, what you can expect is an updated shape. They'll feature white leather on the lower part of the shoe as well as the midfoot strap, and then black nubuck will cover the upper. The same shade hits the laces, tongue, liner, heel, and the midsole. Now, allowing this pair to pop will be mystic green in this case, but it's emerald, and that will hit the heel pull tabs, swoosh across the midfoot strap, hinted on the tongue branding, and Nike Air on the heels. Now, the mesh detailing will come in gold, and the outsole is done in mostly black with some emerald accents. For me, this is a definite pickup. I plan on trying to grab every OG Air Diamond Turf that returns next year. So we got the first one being the Atlanta Falcons, the second being the Ravens, and then the third would be the Emerald. So as for a release date, this pair is expected to drop fall 2025, which means a release will take place between July and September, and the retail price will be $150. Official images recently popped up of the Air Jordan 1 Low OG Year of the Snake. Now, we did see a first look at the shoes, maybe it was last week, and I wasn't a fan of them, I'll be honest, but the images were really bad in comparison to these official images because we could actually see what's going on. In my opinion, the first look made the overall look just look dark, like it was pretty much an all gray and white shoe, but that isn't going to be the case. Now, this pair features a Summit White, Photon Dust, and Barely Green colorway. So as you could see, there's a lot more going on. They feature white leather across the base. We have Photon Dust, which is like a shade of gray. On the overlays, the swoosh also has a snake skin-like texture, but it will be iridescent. You can tell more so on the medial side due to the lighting. As well, the Wings logo on the heel will be iridescent, so it'll flash different shades, which I think is pretty dope. And then we have like a very soft green on the tongue and the laces. There's also a black tongue label, special branding on the insoles, and the pair will feature an aged-like midsole. Now, finishing the look is Barely Green on the translucent rubber outsole, which makes them look almost glow in the dark, but I haven't heard anything about these glowing in the dark, and the official images don't show that, so I don't think they will, but I could be wrong on that. Now, they'll also come with the signature hang tag. Pretty much every shoe in the Year of the Snake collection will have it. It's a black hang tag with snakeskin texture throughout. It has a Jumpman in metallic silver, and then attached to it are some beads. But yeah, these are dope. These are a lot better than the first images. Will I be going after them? Probably not, just because there's so many releases in 2025 that I got to, kind of reserve myself on pairs that I really want. But for those that want to pick these up, they're currently scheduled to drop on January 22nd, and the retail price will be $160. Official images recently popped up of the Travis Scott Air Jordan 1 Low OG Velvet Brown. Now, I wanted to share the photos because, of course, it gives us a detailed look. Now, they are expected to drop on December 21st, which isn't too long from now. And at the time of recording, they are not live on the Sneakers app. Again, that could change, nor are they on the back end. So once they hit the back end of the site, people are able to scrape this information and let you know how many pairs are going to be released. Of course, that doesn't account for retailers, but it gives you a general idea how many the Sneakers app are going to get. So as of now, I have been seeing numbers going around saying they're limited, people saying that there's more pairs available than other Travis Scott releases, but you really can't say that as of yet because you don't have this information. Yes, you might be able to ask a retailer here or there that has the shoes, hey, how many pairs you got? And they could be like, oh yeah, I got a few more than usual. And some may say that, some may not. But the best indicator is to wait until they're loaded on the back end. I've also seen a lot of other rumors going around of Travis Scott and future releases, and I haven't touched it because I don't truly believe it. It's more of gossip information. When I hear it from the brand or some of my sources, I'll definitely talk about it more, but I'm staying away from anything that Travis Scott, wants to handle his own stock going forward and stuff like that. I have heard there's drama, but I don't know what part of it's true, what part of it isn't. It's just all hearsay at this point. But yeah, getting off all of that stuff, I just really wanted to share the official look. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below. And as of now, they are expected to drop on December 21st, and the retail price will be $150. Also, they'll drop in preschool sizing for $60, and taller sizes will cost $50. In fall 2025, specifically in August, we have a new Air Jordan 1 Low OG dropping, and this pair I'm calling Summit White. Now, the image used is a mock-up. I have no idea what they're going to look like. I'm going to be honest here, I hope they don't look like this. Maybe some of you guys might like it, maybe some of you may not, but the image is just used for visual purposes, and the actual colorway on these is Summit White, University Red, Neutral Gray, Stadium Green, and Coconut Milk. So we got a ton of colors used here, and it seems like it's going to clash quite a bit. Now, initially I thought that these might be a Cinco de Mayo release due to the color description, but that isn't going to be the case because they're going to drop in August. So that's way past when Cinco de Mayo would be. And I know Jordan Brand is sometimes late to releasing holiday sneakers for the actual holiday, but I don't see them being over 3 months late. Now, elements that we can count on this pair having, of course, would be Nike Air and the Wings branding, but more than likely they'll feature an aged midsole, possibly aged laces, and an aged tongue. The reason for that is coconut milk being used. Typically that is placed on the midsole, the tongue, the laces, and so forth. But it could be across the base, but that just isn't known as of yet. Also, whatever they look like, they are expected to feature a larger swoosh. I know people are fans of the larger swoosh, so that might actually help the shoes. But yeah, I hope they don't look like this. It would be dope if they did drop a Cinco de Mayo shoe, but just do the color blocking better than this. But anyways, they are expected to drop on August 23rd, and the retail price will be $140. You guys already know I'm not a fan of this look, how they look here, but if they did drop like this, let me know if you'd pick them up or if you'd be passing. Maniere potentially has 2 Air Jordan 5s dropping in 2025. Now, I say potentially because you guys might remember several months back, I talked about the Maniere Air Jordan 5 in diffused blue. Well, I haven't received a style code for that shoe just yet, and I haven't received an update. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on with them. Yes, they still could release. It's just that I haven't received an update. Now, Maniere is also dropping the Air Jordan 3 in diffused blue. But as for the Air Jordan 5, they're also dropping a pair in violet ore. Now, just a heads up, the image used is just a mock-up. I'm not sure how they're going to look. However, they will feature a white, violet ore, burgundy crush, in black colorway. These are labeled an OG SP, so they will feature Nike Air branding, and SP stands for Special Projects, which means that they're going to be somewhat limited. As most of you already know, it's a collaboration. Typically, that's what Jordan Brand does. So again, this is a mock-up. I'm not sure how it's going to look. It could feature the number 23 embroidered on the side. They should have Nike Air branding on the heel, just like the other 2 pairs that we saw back in 2023, known as Dusk and Dawn. They could feature the Maniere logo intertwined on the mesh netting. They're also expected to feature the Maniere branding and the Jumpman logo on the tongues. More than likely, they will have a thinner tongue and ankle, like what they did on their previous collabs. But again, this is just speculation. All I know for sure is that there is an Maniere Air Jordan 5 dropping in white, violet ore, burgundy crush, in black. Now, as for the release date, this pair is scheduled to drop on May 14th. So if the diffused blue pair is still releasing, they should also drop on May 14th as well, or around that time. Also, the retail price will be $225. Let me know your thoughts on this pair down below. If they drop just like this, would you buy? So some of you may seen images going around of the Air Jordan 17 low in black and chrome. Now, the rumor is that these are going to return in 2025. I've seen multiple Instagram pages posted, Twitter pages, now known as X, as well as a couple websites reporting that these shoes are returning. Now, there's two parts of this. The first part is that these images that are going around, these are actually fakes. So what's funny is that if you go on Instagram and you look enough, you'll start seeing these fake accounts who are known to sell fakes. They just got a shipment in of these shoes. So it seems that a lot of these accounts are now pushing this pair. And the individual who originally shared these images, I'm not going to name drop him in here because honestly, for lack of a better term, he's 100% clown. The guy is known to mix real and fakes in when people buy. But let's get back to being positive. I don't want to get out of character or anything like that. Anyways, yes, these images are fake. Also, I have not heard about the Air Jordan 17 low in black and chrome returning. Now, is there a possibility they could return? Sure, I don't know every single thing that is being released. I know a lot of stuff, but I will say that I did ask around several people and they haven't heard anything. So the likelihood of this happening is slim to none. And on top of that, these images are definitely fake. Now, if you buy fakes, because I do know people who watch this channel do buy fakes, and that's totally fine. I have nothing against anyone who buys what they want with their money. My only issue is, and I've stated this before, is if you knowingly go out and buy an authentic pair, but the individual who's selling it says they're authentic and then sells you a fake, that's clown stuff. You're being 100% scammer. So at the end of the day, buy what you like, it's your money. But unfortunately for this pair, I haven't heard about a retail release. So again, it's not looking like it's going to take place. Now, a lot of people were hyped about this because it is an OG colorway which dropped back in 2002. This year, well, it's currently 2024. We saw the Lightning pair return as well as the UNC. Both of those are OG colorways. And in 2025, the only two pairs that I know of the Air Jordan 17 that will be released is a collaboration with Infinite Archives. Now, Maniere could still drop their Air Jordan 17 low collaborations. I know initially they were supposed to drop in 2024, but both of those releases were going to celebrate their two new store openings. So the store hasn't opened. I don't know how far along it is until completion. So those two pairs could still release unless they're just scrapped because the store took so long to open and maybe they dropped something else in its place. So unfortunately, I couldn't bring you better news because I would have loved to see these return. And maybe we will see them return. It's just that it's not on the schedule for 2025. As of yet, nothing I've heard. I did receive the holiday lineup. It wasn't on the list, although I haven't received the collaborations and the special projects information just yet. But even if they are part of holiday 2025, we wouldn't be getting first looks right now. There's no way that these are in production just yet. So regardless, the images are fake. But yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. Do you think the Air Jordan 17 low in black and chrome should return? I 100% think it should, but that's just my opinion. And that's going to do it for this video. Like always, greatly appreciate you guys for watching. If you have a second and haven't done so already, also appreciate a thumbs up. And if you're new here, subscribe by hitting the button below. One more thing, if you haven't done so yet, make sure to turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted every time I drop a new video. This week, new videos, definitely going to drop another news video and at least one short. I don't think I'm going to have any more shoes to record for 2024. I might, but really my focus as of now has been this 2025 Air Jordan release dates ultimate guide video. And, you know, I'm a couple days in of recording. This video is definitely going to be well over an hour long. And I anticipate dropping that video next week. So it'll probably be on Monday. That's what I'm shooting for. So like always, be on the lookout for that. Also, a heads up for everybody who bought a t-shirt. Like always, I appreciate you guys supporting. Now, there is a little bit of an issue. I received all of the prints and things like that, and they came damaged. I don't know what the issue is. So right now I'm waiting for a new shipment on all the materials so I can get these printed, because everything that I've been doing has been in home. So I have been putting the shirts together, heat pressing, cutting, all that stuff, packaging, shipping, all that's me. And I take a sense of pride in it, and when it came damaged, I didn't want to ship that product out and just put it together and use it, because it wouldn't have been the quality that I personally would have liked. So again, I do apologize. I'm hoping for all the materials to be here this week, and then I'm going to be working on that, and my goal is to have all the shirts shipped out to you guys this week as well. But getting back to this video, let me know what you liked or disliked down in the comment section below. As well, if you have any questions, make sure to leave that down below. Oh yeah, one more thing. I know I've been lacking on responding to comments. I'm going to catch up on that this week. I've been working on this video and a bunch of other stuff, so it's been taking a lot of my free time up. So again, I apologize, but I will be responding. Again, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to SneakerFiles.com. And if you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe.